host of the Gridiron.
We got there. I saw this article. It says that the final stretch here, right, could be a telling for some players' futures for the New York Football Giants. Now, obviously, we got a lot of, our draft picks, right? Some of them looking for, want to keep them around going forward. One of them was like with Kayvon, because I believe. The interesting thing is with Kayvon, and like Evan Neal, you have to pick up their fifth-year option before the fourth year starts, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, what are the Giants going to do, right? I mean, obviously, Evan Neal's under contract for next season. Kayvon Thibodeau's under contract for next season. So, but, what are they going to do, right? What are they going to do before next season starts, right? If you don't pick up their fifth-year option, right, after next season's over with, they become free agents, but you would have the first chance of maybe re-signing them, right? But if you pick up their fifth-year option, like you pick up Kayvon's fifth-year option, that could be $15 million, right? He might want 20 or 25 for a long term. I don't know, 25. I don't know. It was some of his numbers. I don't know, but he might want 20, just say. Well, you want to pick up his fifth-year option for 15, and then extend his contract going forward. Might save yourself a little bit of money. I'll have to wait and see. But it's next few games. I mean, for some of this, in this article, it talks a lot about obviously the Giants draft picks and some of the hits and some of the misses we've had. Right. This is from the New York Post. Giants' final stretch could be telling period for several players' futures. There is no peace for the New York Giants. Are there pieces? As a franchise record-tying 9-game losing streak, a rash of injuries, and a banner-carrying airplanes flying over two-thirds filled stadium turn up to the temperature on a lost season, the Giants are 2-12, still need to evaluate their players to know what they have moving forward. Yep. I don't think it makes it difficult. Head coach Brian Daboll said they compete as hard as they can. You evaluate their technique. You evaluate their understanding of the schemes, their competitiveness, all things that they have to do at each position. Here are 12 this way or that way players, 9 draft picks and 3 veterans, of whom you can ask what he really has as a player when these next 3 games are over and the offseason begins. General Manager Joe Schoen traded up in 2023 third round to draft, this is the big one here, Jalen Hyatt. After nearly taking him in the second round is the former Blitnikoff Award winner, a fringe player, as his 7 catches for 53 yards this season and 0 touchdowns in 30 career games suggest. Or is a coaching staff that has used him for 16 or fewer snaps 7 times to blame for the underdevelopment? Well, that's a possibility as well, too. Right? Once again, it's like, can this guy run routes, or is it the coaching, or is it just the scheme we're drawing? I mean, is it just, what's the problem? How come he caught 37 touchdowns against Alabama, but he can't catch a touchdown against anybody in the NFL? Are we putting him in the best position possible to be successful? Or, the guy just can't run a route? He can't run anything? The guy's like grease lightning. We can't get the guy open? Nothing? Hang? He has 7 catches all season long. You trade, it's like, but it's kind of makes you wonder. It's like, well, a couple of things. It's like, well, why did you trade up for him? And you traded away another draft pick to get the guy. You traded up your 3rd and 5th round pick to get the guy. And now you don't even put him on the field? Are you that stupid? This guy can't run around, or you guys just can't, coach him. sometimes you look, right? You look at, everybody's different, right? Situations are different. But you look at Sam Darnold, right, with the Jets and Carolina and San Francisco, but he couldn't do much there. But then again, those teams weren't very good. The Vikings, I think, are relatively still healthy. He's got some phenomenal weapons. He's looking like almost goddamn Joe Montana out there, isn't he? I mean, he's looking good, right? Different situation, different schemes, different coaches, getting the most out of them, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what the heck's going on with Jalen? I mean, he's like getting worse. It's like, why is this guy getting worse? I mean, to be fair, last year we had Jalen Hyatt, right? We had Wando Robinson. We didn't have Neighbors last year. Obviously, Neighbors going to play 137% of the snaps, right? So somebody's got to get the raw end of the deal, and it was either probably going to be Slayton or it was going to be Hyatt, and apparently Hyatt's the one getting the Slayton's out there running the routes because he can, and he's fast. Of course, we got Wandale, right, and then you got Neighbors. So, but man, I mean, took the dude in the third round, and he guy's not on. Yeah, wow. And you traded a 5th round pick to go get him too. Wow. I mean, kind of makes you wonder. It's like, if we kept that 5th round pick, right? What could we maybe have gotten for a 5th round pick, right? Then wasn't McFadden the 5th round pick? But 2022 was he the 5th round pick? Wasn't Tracy our 5th round pick here this year? I think McFadden was the 5th round pick. I know Tracy was a 5th round pick in 2024. What could we have gotten in 2023 with our 5th round pick? If we drafted Tracy and McFadden, we drafted basically 2 starters. Drafting a starter in the 5th round is pretty good, right? So so you traded up and you traded away your 5th round, which could have possibly been a decent player. So that's a swing and a miss right there. So it's going to be very, we still got the guy under the contract and all and everything, but it's interesting going forward. If Daboll is still the coach and all of that, it's if we were to lose Slayton, which we might, it's going into the off season. Just saying, Higgins is out there possibly. It might be a couple. Higgins is going to cost you some money though. But if you were to get Higgins and Neighbors out there, now we might be talking a little something here, right? Might have 2 number 1 wide receivers, kind of, right? Wouldn't be too bad if we can get a quarterback in it, draft a quarterback, and go out and right. So it's gonna be interesting to see, because if we can't put Hyde on the field, if you just can't develop, he can't run the routes or whatever it is, I don't know. I'm not a wide receiver. I was a tight end in high school for a period of time. We didn't have phenomenal routes, but I have a hard time believing. I don't know what I can't even talk. You can't run route. You can't work on running routes. And he ran that route 317 times. He just can't do it. He can't run 10 yards and then he just can't do it. I'm like, what? You can't run a 10 and out. I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that, as far as, breaking down and, getting out of your breaks fast and stuff like that. But you would think if he could, I don't know, maybe he's just not working hard enough at his craft. That's possible. Don't know. Because sometimes a lot of these guys get, things look really, really good to them in college, and they think everything's going to be handed to them in the pros, and that's just not the way it works all the time, right? You got to go out there and earn that. Let's see. So we got a bunch of other guys here to talking about. One is Wando Robinson. And the one thing is with him, right, is yards per reception. It says, as Darius Slayton heads to free agency, can you comfortably pencil in Robinson as the number 2 receiver out of the slot? Not based on his 7.4 yards per catch, which is ranked 139th in the NFL on 111 targets, which is number 14. So he gets a lot of targets. unless you think that's a symptom of poor quarterbacking and the yards after catch that he has meant to provide is being masked. Now, that's true. Now, obviously, with that, a lot of that, obviously, with yards after catches, I'm running across the middle, just saying, right? Very slowly, right? But, as I'm running, hey, hit me, baby. I'm running, and you hit me right here, right in stride. Put the ball away, and I'm off and running. Or if I'm running across the middle, hey, I'm open, hit me, right? And as you're throwing the ball, I gotta turn around and make a one-handed catch. I gotta dive back at the ground, secure the ball. Now I'm laying on the ground because you threw a crappy pass. I mean, that's possible. The ball's way up in the air. I gotta jump up in the air, tip it up in the air, and wait for it to fall down, catch it in that amount of time. 37 defenders on me, and they bring. Right. Also tells you 7.4 yards per reception. It also tells you that they're not having him run really deep routes either. Right. So that has something to do with it as well. But a lot of it is, yards after catches. Can you hit the dude in stride and keep him running? I mean, one of the most deadliest things that I ever saw. Right. Was Joe Montana, right, to Jerry Rice. That slant, right? Joe Montana get the snap, take whatever it was, 3 steps, bam, playing, looking for Rice, cutting him, boom, hitting him, boom, and stride. Rice is gone. You ever look at the 86? I guess divisional round, because the Giants weren't a wild card. So I guess the divisional round when they beat the 49ers 49-3. I think the Raiders, I it might have been the opening drive. I mean, it might have been 7-0. I mean, before Joe Montana got knocked out of the game, right? He hit Rice in stride, right? Rice caught the ball. Whoop. Rondell's shifty, but no speed. Another bad pick. Well, it's possible. That's possible, right? But with Rice caught the ball in stride, right? I mean, Montana's Hall of Fame quarterback. That's what you do when you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. You hit the dude in stride. You don't make the guy dive back or nothing, but he hit Rice in stride. Rice caught the ball, ran through the Giants defense, ran the 15-yard line. I don't know why. Rice is running with the ball. The ball pops out. Fumble! And the Giants wound up recovering it, I think, in the end zone. 1st and 10, Giants the other way. So would that have changed the game? No, yeah. Giants would have won 49-10. But after that, that's when, shortly after that, Montana got knocked out of the game, and the rest of it's history. But, do you hit the dude in stride, right? So, we're going to be talking. There's another portion of our program we're going to be talking about. Will be our, I guess, our 6th quarterback. Not 6 different, but our 6th quarterback. We'll talk about that when we get there. But, we don't have Hall of Famers throwing the balls to these guys either, right? But, Wandell Rob, 7.4 yards per catch. I mean, and you figure, it's one of those things too. It's like, you get something and you take off. He's maybe shift whatever, but maybe that open end speed is not phenomenal. But if you would catch something and would go, right? Now your 7.4 yards is 8.4 because you got one 72-yard touchdown reception, right? Which helps. But it's a 7.4 yards per reception. It's like that, Poof. Evan Neal. Here we go. Is it time to put the bust label on the 2022 number 7 overall pick? He has started the past 5 games, allowing 2 sacks and 12 pressures after losing his starting job following last season's poor play and foot injury. Offensive line experts say Neal still is on the ground too often. He won't be the starting right tackle in 2025. Should he be tried at guard? I think so. Or traded for pennies on the dollar before his walk year. Well, that's. I think they'd be foolish if they didn't try to guy guard. Move the dude inside. He's shown he has power and all. Right? He has a hard time with those guys, those freakish athletes coming around the edge and all of that. But if you got somebody who's more his size and all of that, and you keep him in a phone booth, right? He could be more productive, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's the same thing with Eric Flowers. I mean, when he finally got moved to guard with other teams, I can't remember if Miami had him at guard, but I know I don't know what the hell they were called. They were called the Boston Braves, then the Boston Redskins, the Washington Redskins, the WTFs, the WFTs. Washington, I don't know what they were called when Flowers was there, but they moved Flowers in at guard, and hey, he wasn't an All-Pro or nothing, but I think 2020 was his final season. I think it was. I gotta move my legs, but he didn't do too bad. The guard. I mean, I don't know why the Giants are just not trying to do the guard. I don't know, but they have a big decision to make, right? Kayvon Thibodeau is Shane as a top 3-round pick to celebrate from the 2022-2023 draft classes. If he has a top 3 round pick, first, second, or third round pick to celebrate, it would be him. But the former number 5 pick is quietly playing out the stretch. Thibodeau has 18.5 sacks and 5 forced fumbles in 40 career games after missing 5 this season due to his wrist injury. Supporters point to his run defense. Critics say the metrics behind his 11.5 sacks in 2023, 6.4 pass rush win rate suggest it was unsustainable production. And he's not setting the world on fire this year. And I know obviously last week, I think it took to 11 minutes left to go in the game before he even got an assisted tackle. It's like, dude, where are you? I mean, you want the big buck? I'm not saying the guy's got to have 33 sacks a game and strip sacks like he did last time we played Kayvon. I'm not Kayvon. We played the Ravens. Remember that? Right? He went in. He forced the fumble. I think Leo the Lion jumped on it. While Leo was, I don't know why Kayvon was doing this, but Kayvon knocked the ball loose, right? And it was like a scramble for it. And Leo was like jumping on it. But even before I think Leo even was totally secured the ball, Kayvon for some reason was doing the salsa. I don't know why you're doing the salsa when the ball maybe wasn't 100% secure. Why don't you get in the pile, make sure we got the ball? Giants ball, then you get up, and then we fucking salsa. Why don't we try some of that? I mean, but this is going to be, big for him, right? To the Giants, it's not going to look good for Shane. You got a pick 5 and a pick 7, and you don't pick up either one of their fifth-year options. Whew. So, all right, and we got John Michael Schmitz. Just because he clears the low bar as the best of Shane's 4 offensive line picks. Yeah. I mean, you got Neal, Azudu, McKeithen, and Schmitz. He's picked 4 guys, and it's like, Doesn't mean that he should be penciled in as a starter. The 6-year collegian was advertised by scouts as a plug-and-play starter near his developmental ceiling. He is ranked as the number 53 center by Pro Football Focus and is still getting knocked off the ball by power rushers. Yeah, I mean, the one thing, he is, he can get overrun. That's for damn sure. I mean, is he smart? Is he tough and all that stuff? Yeah, but I mean, we're kind of open for a 2nd-round pick. I mean, if you get a little, to be a little bit better. I mean, he definitely needs, without question, to get stronger. That is for darn sure. He has some good games, but he also has some bad games as well too. So, right, some of those picks. It's kind of like. Good old, I got this one here too, right? We traded for this guy too. Traded up to get this guy, Mr. Banks. Right? Made Wink Martindale very happy, but Wink is long gone. All the good vibes that Banks created as a solid rookie are now gone. The 2023 first-rounder's tackling effort was questioned multiple times. He's allowed 6 touchdown catches in 12 games. The season proved he is not up to being a number 1 corner, but can he be a solid number 2? Shane Off claims that he doesn't draft for scheme, but Banks sure seemed to be a better fit for the man-to-man press coverage. Obviously, which is what Wink ran, and Wink was very happy because after they drafted him, Wink picked Shane up and gave him a bear hug and cracked Shane's back like a chiropractor would, But he might have to move him to maybe the number 2 cornerback. So now we still might need a number 1 cornerback. Now Flott's done very well this year. The problem is with Flott, guy can never stay healthy. Guy weighs like 48 pounds. I mean, he's not very big. He hasn't had a bad season this year. Hasn't had a bad season at all. But, I mean, do we have a number 1 cornerback on our right? So we got a lot of swings and misses here. Some of these, I mean, I said this draft class here so far, I would say, knock on wood, really looks good. If we can duplicate that again this upcoming season, that would be huge. And then they talk about a couple other guys here. I mean, I don't understand this. Telling futures, Micah McFadden. Unlike most youngsters on this list, McFadden's arrow is pointing up. It must be determined if his 102 tackle, 3 sack breakout so far is just scratching the surface, or if it's the product of someone needing to fill out the stat sheet with so many injuries. 2022 fifth rounder Motors never runs cold, and he's getting a small late season taste as a defensive signal caller. Yeah, I mean, so you need to draft somebody else. Yeah, I mean, that means a 5th round pick. So, I mean, what do you, he's a 5th round pick. The guy's supposed to be Hall of Famer. Why isn't he Hall of Famer? I mean, 5th round pick. He's not doing. Is he Ray Lewis? Is he, Harry Carson? No, of course not. Is he ever going to be? No. Is he going to have? Is he going to miss some tackles? Is he going to this? Is he going to? Oh yeah. Is he going to? His motor never stops. Is he going to make some tackles? Is he going to try this? And yeah. I mean, once again, he's a 5th round pick. Right? You can't expect the world from him. So I mean, that to me, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Then they also talk about, I don't know why, Theo Johnson here. Rookie's 4th round pick was just hitting his stride as a pass catcher when he suffered a season-ending foot injury on Thanksgiving. Can he be counted on to elevate next season? Yeah. The Giants didn't trust Daniel Bellinger to do the same after a very similar rookie season. Well, that's true too. Then they talk about Drew Phillips. I don't know why. I mean, obviously he got injured. I mean, that to me it was a fantastic pick. But I mean, it says here he's allowed 32 catches allowed on 38 targets and 5 starts across 11 games. But I mean, he doesn't give up a lot of yards. So I mean, to me, he's a very, very solid pick. Then they talk about Jason Pinnock. Thing is, with Jason Pinnock, obviously, is because he could be I think a free agent after this season. The pending free agent is the signature waivers pickup of the regime, which has squeezed 34 starts out of a Jets cut. Pinnock is best at blitzing, but his angles in pursuit and positioning on deep balls has opened the door for big plays. Shane has had 3 of the NFL's top 10 safeties, as graded by PFF, walk out the door in recent years, and rookie 2nd rounder Tyler Nubin is considered the future of the back end. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, because if with Pinnock, obviously it's going to be one of those things. It's kind of like he's going to maybe test free agency. What's he going to want? Right? Is he going to want whatever? I'm just throwing a number out there, $12 million a year. I don't know. Right? Is that something Shane's going to want, or is he going to have to once again wait bye and we're going to need to replace him? And Belton didn't do too bad this past week, but I mean also you got to did Belton do good? I mean, with tackles this week, was that because the tackles came to him? Because we didn't stop him up front. Belton was also part of the problem in the secondary. They gave up 5 touchdown passes. So, it's going to be interesting there. I mean, what happens, once again, in the offseason? Do we keep Pinnock? Do we let him go? Do we bring in and try to draft another safety? We'll have to wait and see. We've had some success, right? Drafting safeties in the second round, right? We've had some success, right? Collins, McKinney, Newman. We've had some success. So maybe I don't know if we're going to pick a safety in the second round this year, but yeah.